Hey guys, let's review Sims 4 Star Wars. I'd like to say this is not brought to you by EA Game Changers. I bought it myself because if I did happen to like it, I'm not down with being called a shill by some edgy teenager who thinks it's only $20 to buy my opinion. I wasn't given early access, so I dug in right when it was available to see what this pack is all about. Thankfully for me, this pack only has like one feature to look at. Could the community be wrong? Is it maybe fun? So let's get going to Batuu. Literally all the gameplay is there. We don't have to make some kind of gadget to call for a ride to this planet. You just select take a vacation on the phone and bam, you're whisked away to Batuu. Isn't that fun? Once you've loaded in, you'll see there are 3 zones, but not really any lots. It's kind of like Realm of Magic. It's just one big fat lot, except there's 3 of them. Prepare yourself to see this map very often, and I feel sorry for you if your computer is old. When you get to Batuu, everything in your inventory is stored at home along with all your money. You even pick a Batuu outfit when you're here. The first signs this is meant to be an extremely contained experience. If you pick one of the new Star Wars aspirations, you'll automatically get some of your Sims needs refilled every time you travel. It sounds handy and extremely overpowered, doesn't it? The atmosphere of this is generally very good. It's one of the prettiest packs I've seen. But if you fancy yourself that something is new here, some sim will do an out-of-place thing and remind you that they're the same old Sims in a new coat of paint. While on Batuu, you'll automatically have a quest in your careers tab. You'll need to meet with the Resistance, First Order, and Scoundrels. Something that you may notice about this little checklist is it's just ask. A lot of talking to Sims. Don't worry about the fact that you can't build a house here. There's a rabbit hole that lets you automatically meet your Sims' needs and you can stay as long as you want. I guess this saved them from making some kind of space motel you hang out at, but it means the main thing you'll do here is focus on missions without breaks. That is something that would prove to be disastrous in my opinion. This brings us to the pack's one and only feature, missions. Each of 3 factions will give you missions, and based on how it works, I'm guessing you can have a decent reputation with 2 at one time. See, a lot of resistance aiding missions will give you rep with them, but harm your reputation with the First Order. Because of the way missions work, it can be useful to get some skills before you come here, like flying a X-Wing or TIE fighter uses rocket science. Fitness is used fairly heavily, along with charisma and programming. It just depends what mission you're on. Everyone starts with a talk about the Resistance and First Order mission to help you get your bearings, but that begins this heavy usage of text and social interactions. Yes, you do 9 socials immediately after you do here's where you eat, sleep, and drink missions. I had a few super frustrating missions that sent me on a downward spiral in mood. I'm playing a game, not meant to be angry or frustrated. When you're on a mission, the Batuu menu completely disappears from Sims in the Resistance, so you can now not do anything like ask about the Resistance. I wasted 20 minutes trying to join and it was just this design choice, giving you only 1 mission at a time. But the option to join shouldn't just vanish, it should gray out so that you know why you can't join. I deleted that mission so I could join up. I was immediately flooded with busy work, speed 3 moments, and loading screens and not much else. This pack is one of the most repetitive and shallow experiences I've had in The Sims 4. I can only demonstrate this by showing you the many things that went wrong or soured my fun. For instance, Hondo has given me a quest to break into this house to steal a package. A freaking stormtrooper comes and checks my ID while I'm doing this, but does he care I'm trying to steal from this place? No, not even his commander does. Yes, I got checked twice that fast because it's just a totally random thing. Anyway, I just walk right in front of them. There's just so many things like here, analyze the crate. He's standing right there. He prevents me this time from doing it, but I just walk 15 feet away and do it anyway. Now it's talk to stormtroopers. Why would I talk to stormtroopers? The Resistance wants to stay far away from stormtroopers unless they're fighting them. Okay, I got another mission. Maybe it'll get better. No, it got worse and there are many problems. We are given countless examples. You know those scenes in the gameplay trailer that show Sims partying in the cantina and it looks like a super lively world? Well, that is broken for me because every time I travel, Sims spawn and have to go to the places. This isn't new, it just stands out like a sore thumb here. There's only like one lot, so they're all going to the same place. Here's another. When you're on a talk to this Sim mission, it's like this. I need to talk to the scoundrel contact. I don't even know his name, so hover your mouse over different people in the bar until you find the scoundrel contact, because it could be any of them. Then you talk to him and you travel again. You've got to be kidding me. That just looks so wrong. Now I'm unlocking this box. I'm locked out from trying again for another hour because I failed. Not like this is literally a mission I need to accomplish. She's having a hard time, so the Empire won. This is like that Boredom knitting moodlet. I can't help but feel that gameplay is being extended by stuff like this and not real fun gameplay. Yet another example of this all being a facade. Don't mind me, guys. Along the way, you get these missions to mess with consoles. You pick Analyze and it'll show you the correct one. You just do this over and over until you get a green thumbs up, then you win automatically. I'm trying to disrupt this comm tower, but someone else is doing that too, I guess. There is so much traveling involved in this pack. One time I traveled 5 times in 3 or 4 minutes. Something worth stating is that they got the load times down really low, but it's still incredibly disruptive and repetitive. See, I just finished something and I'm already traveling back to the first order place. The funny thing is, with this pack's trait, I can go about 36 hours without filling my Sim's needs at all, because it gives me a little bump on all needs each time I travel. It means I can focus more on these wonderful missions. I hate turning missions in because whenever I come back to the resistance place, I spend more time walking than doing anything else. There are ships and they look great. At least I get to fly an X-Wing now, right? But I have to fix it first. It's resistance equipment after all. I've never plunged the toilet, but I'm qualified to repair and fly an X-Wing. They only have one and they trust me with it. When you board ships, there are those choose your own adventure style pop-ups. If you have certain items in your inventory, it might help, like a thermal detonator or a blaster. In fact, that's what those are for. In this case, I got skill checks for rocket science, so I just do the default. Oh, well, it was a success. She's an ace pilot and didn't even need to practice. It's like a Disney ride. So when I turned this in, I'm told to check my Sim's inventory. I had bought a Kyber crystal, but she just up and gave me, a low-ranking member, a whole lightsaber. I guess I'm supposed to have one now. I had found hilts, so I make my own. Just click it and bam, you're a Jedi. I know it doesn't matter much to some people, but having a lightsaber is something only a Jedi would do. So either I'm a Jedi, or they just threw lightsabers in as a reward because they look cool. Someone tell me though, why should I be excited about this? I can duel and train with it, but I'm just watching a Sim do an animation. What the hell is this? Like the dancing at the club, seeing aliens act like normal Sims can be pretty hilarious. It's really just having them do our dance moves and songs. It seems out of place, I guess. And now, my Sim needs to be. What do I do? So I decide I'll just let her auto-solve it so I know where to go next time, right? Oh my god. It's hilarious. She goes to the forest. I just pissed in the woods. They walk to the edge to pee. I mean, that's fine, but the resistance doesn't even have a toilet. That's just nasty. That should be a mission. Make Rey a comfortable place to take a dump. But it's very Star Wars. I haven't seen Luke Skywalker use the toilet. Have you? Look at Chewie and tell me he doesn't have hygiene issues. Once I had let my Sim take care of herself in the woods, I found doing the same missions over and over an easy way to rank up and get this over with. Or just quit when you have a droid and a lightsaber. My friend and I both had the same experience with these pop-up missions. We got to the point we were not even reading them, just clicking the default option. Choices like this are meaningless to me even though I know Star Wars. I don't see any benefit to picking this or that. When I got a bit further in, I was hoping for some variety. I took a mission to talk to a smuggler contact at the cantina. I regretted it right away. I just stand there on speed 3 checking people until they come in to see if there's a person I'm looking for. Do I really need to know about the GeekCon when I'm on another fucking planet? Count to 10. Alright, but this is literally just mousing over Sims on speed 3 until I find someone. I missed one and finally found him. If you think that the fact I'm not having fun is because I boarded a hate train, I'll say it plainly. You're wrong. I gave this every chance, and the reasons I'm not enjoying this have nothing to do with the community's anger over this pack's existence. If the majority were wrong, I'd be happy to share that. I have 100 videos. Of course I wish this pack were a huge win. I wish I found it fun, and I'm sad there isn't more to say about it. The most redeeming quality of these missions was when you go to the enemy's base, you can get caught. The First Order will interrogate you, and the rebels make you leave the area entirely. I purchased a droid I named G0N4D to be my little distraction ball buddy. He acts all nuts, and they fall for it every time, at least when they notice him. It took a second try. Thankfully, this First Order guard had the decency to let me complete that step of my mission before he took me in for torture time. There are a lot of missions that all involve some kind of control panel or a rabbit hole and almost always take place in a second zone or multiple zones. So you will just get the mission and immediately travel. And travel up to 4 times before you're done. So that's missions for you. You do them and get ranks. And that there isn't much to talk about them. Because you're just doing a step, then another step, and another. And it feels like a lot of traveling and clicking things and being fed Star Wars themed rewards that don't really do anything. It definitely feels more like a trip to the theme park than I expected. You've got Sims dressed up as the characters, and they all show up for work when you get there to create the illusion that you're playing a Star Wars game. This pack does not include any skills or careers for me to comment on. And the aspirations are just walkthroughs to be a high-ranking member of either the First Order or the Resistance. There are minor bonuses you get for completing them that you can take home with you. You can be a smuggler, which is kind of the neutral choice here, but you'll have to choose between the other two. While they clearly put more time into designing the steps of certain missions and all the text for the choose your own adventure moments, it just doesn't work to have only a mission in Sims. Choices that were made, like to give you a trait that refills needs each time you travel, it just keeps you hyper focused on missions, and it doesn't stand up to that level of scrutiny. See, that's because while you're here, there really isn't anything else to do. Something people say that annoys me when I do reviews is you focus so much on the gameplay. No wonder you get done so fast. Well, after 5 or 6 years, that's a pretty unreasonable line of thinking. If I go to Batuu, what else am I going to do? I'm going to do missions, right? It's the new content, especially if that is the only thing to do there. You will inevitably focus on the missions and realize how you're just clicking this and that or waiting on the informant to spawn at the bar. I feel like the biggest failing of this pack is, in order to make a world that kind of seems like Star Wars, they had to make so much stuff and code certain Sims to act a certain way while they were unable to constrain every single annoying and out of place thing Sims might do. Because of the hard work they put into making Batuu a Star Wars place, which they did, it resulted in less work going toward the actual gameplay being fun and not repetitive. I'm thinking that psychologically, something that contributes to this feeling that it's repetitive is you're making credits, not money. And you're not going to use a thermal detonator at home. I mean, you can't even use it here. This needed more work to make it a functional and fun pack. As it stands, my opinion is that this exists to get Star Wars fans to buy the base game and is not made as a pack for simmers. Even if I do not doubt the developers had a blast putting Star Wars into the game. It's just not great for even Star Wars fans past a certain novelty point that leaves rather quickly. I actually hate to be criticizing so harshly something that Maxis worked hard on. I feel that they needed more time. While I would normally structure a review around features, and I like to think I do okay at that, most of the time anyway, there aren't any, and I had to show you why I'm not having fun. Batuu is beautiful, and the sound design is fantastic, but those are the only nice things I have to say. Dueling with lightsabers is not only a dead end gameplay wise, you would only watch it so many times before you just never use it. Same thing with the droids. These are the main things the marketing said you get to take home with you, other than build mode objects, that you'll probably find only look at home in Oasis Springs. I made this little render to test my skills with coding and After Effects, and I had some fun with it. It was just a chart at first. The channel slowed down a touch, so I didn't cross that line yet, but it's going to, and I'm not going to put out another video just to say thanks. Although I'll certainly get around to something special at some point. Feels good, a lot of work. I hope that The Sims gets a good expansion this fall. It really needs a win this year. Whether dull or broken at launch, I've felt that the last few packs have been not great. Alright, thank you for watching. I hope that this was insightful.